Ugh. All right, here we go. Hey everybody, Michael Gebbin here, and I'm super excited to be with you on another Rockin' Wednesday. So today I want to talk to you guys about a topic that has been coming up in my comments and questions and different things, and it's something that it affects all of us. Yes, absolutely every single one of us. If there's someone that tells you that it doesn't affect them, they are lying to you. They may have been able to overcome it to some degree, but it creeps back up in every single one of us. And me, right here, tell you some stories about me because I am probably one of the worst. And what is that? It's procrastination, right? How do we stop procrastination? Well, that being said, I don't have the best answer in the world on how to stop it entirely. But what I do have is some great different tips and tricks that can help you recognize it and think about it differently. Because one of the things I love to do with these different videos is get you to take something that may be negative, like procrastination, and look at it a little differently so that maybe you can embrace it. Maybe you could just go with it and it'll work in your favor. Because I feel that there's a lot of different ways that procrastination creeps up into our lives, right? And some positive and some negative. But I want you guys to start to recognize this so that you don't have to spend all your time and your energy trying to just battle it and then you end up wasting time, right? So I learned this one law from my man Tim Ferriss, and it's called Parkinson's law. And it says that the time allotted to a task is the amount of time it will take to complete that task. So I believe that 100 million %. And even if you think about it, whether you're at your 9-to-5 job and you have something that you have to complete and they give you 5 days to complete it. Now you might go, God, I don't need 5 days to complete this. But is it amazing? I know you guys are thinking this. Isn't it amazing how even though you might not think it will take that long, I guess it won't take that long, that it'll still take the whole amount of time. How do we do that? How do we take something that could take 3 hours and drag it out over 5 days? That's procrastination. We find all these other things to do. That doesn't mean we don't want to necessarily do the task. It doesn't mean that we hate that thing. Just for whatever reason, psychologically, we tell ourselves it doesn't have to be done. So you might not really want to get it done that quickly, so you just fill it all in with all this other fluff, right? So that's something I just want you to think about for 1 second, no matter what it is that you do. So I'm going to give you some stories from my own life with my YouTube videos and my new GEBBS Juice series and some of my editing and things, and tie it all in to how it affects us in different ways. So one way I truly believe is things that we just do not want to do, right? No way, shape, or form do we ever want to do it. We don't like it. We don't want to do it. Like nothing. There's nothing positive about it in any way, shape, or form. Thus, we will use that law, and whatever time has been allotted to it, we will take to do it. And sometimes even beyond that time until we're just drilled into the ground and we just have to get it done. And then we'll get it done. Those types of things, I truly believe sometimes we need to find a way to just get rid of it entirely, right? Just get rid of it. Put it on somebody else. Don't take those types of things on. Like whatever you can do, those things that you don't want to do, you never want to do, like everything about it is negative. There's nothing positive associated with it. Then there's the things that you're putting off because you're either fearful, there's this subconscious telling you this could happen or that could happen, so you keep putting this thing off. But this thing, something you want to do, but you just you just don't know what to do. So you make excuses and you procrastinate. But there's also no deadline to it. It's maybe you want to quit your job, right? You want to quit your job and start your own business. Become an entrepreneur. Become a photographer, a videographer, an author, whatever. But there's no really deadline to that. But you do want to do it, but you don't have the answers, right? So that you sit and procrastinate on for what can seem like forever. Then there's the things that you want to do, you know how to do, and you still procrastinate, and typically it's the same thing. You have that end goal, that date that you have, and then you'll get it done. Now this has happened when I used to have photo montages. Somebody'd say, I'll give you the photos, I don't need it for 9 months. I would take 9 months to do the photo montage, even though it would only take me really a day or so or less, right? And so what I found was, though, applying this over to say my YouTube videos and my GEBBS juice. So I love these videos. I want to do these videos. And the thing about it is, just like right now, like I'm gonna be gone for a whole week, right? Now I'll have time to do next week's video, but I'm leaving tonight, right? I have to shoot this right this second and get it edited so that it's uploaded and scheduled so it releases tomorrow morning. Now, what would be nice, because I have a jam-packed day, is if I would have a tip that you guys can do for certain things, batch it. Now I'll talk about batching for my GEBBS juice, right? So for GEBBS juice, I sat here and when I first started, I recorded like 10 of these little episodes. If you haven't checked them up, they're in the description. I highly encourage it. It's a little daily audio, 2 minutes or less. If you love these, you'll love that. But I recorded 10. Now, I wanted to record more before I ran out. Well, on the last day, when I uploaded the last one I had, the next day, I would have none. So what did I do? I recorded like 13. Now I'm good for 13 more days. Now, should I really find another day before the last one and do it? Yes, I probably should, right? But I've also found that some of the things that I do in regards to procrastination is my best work. And that sounds crazy, right? That sounds crazy. Like, really? That's your best work when you're rushed and you're all, last minute and running around? Well, the thing I became known for, the thing that has allowed me to travel the world, literally, doing my video production and now getting to traveling, speaking, and all that awesome stuff that I've wanted to do. What has allowed me to do that was my same-day edit. Now, the same-day edit to me was some sort of form of procrastination in the sense that you tie in, it wasn't true form of procrastination because I couldn't procrastinate. The reality is it had a hardcore deadline. So that day I start shooting, that night I have an edit to show. So that edit might take me 3 or 4 hours max, and I show that video. And to me, I never could explain it, but I would put those same type of videos together after, say, a wedding, and guess what would happen? That same video that I could put together in 3.5, 4 hours, after the fact, when seemingly there was no real deadline anymore, could take months. And not months of me dabbling with it or working on it, months in the sense before I just even started. Until what happened? Either the couple was calling me or somebody was calling me. I'm never proud of that. Never proud of that. But whatever that deadline, we'd say, oh, delivery time on the wedding, 3 to 6 months, 3 to 8 months. And the thing about it that happened is that, that's when I'd work on it, in that 3 to 6 months period of time, right? But the video itself, it wasn't any better. And I could never explain that because people thought, well, if you're doing it that day, it can't be as good as if you get to spend all this extra time on it. The fact of the matter is, I wouldn't spend collectively any more time on it than I spent when I only had 3 hours to complete it, right? So that's the thing. So I think that to me, like why on the GEBBS juice or why on the weekly YouTube videos can I only record 1 at a time? Why can't I batch like I do the GEBBS juice? I can do 13 of those at a time. Well, there's a lot more that goes into one of these than it does my little GEBBS juice. So it's just one of those things where everything's unique, everything's different, everything has its different situation. But guess what? I have a deadline on every single one of these, but they're all different how I do them. So the weekly videos, like I gotta have them on 6 a.m. on Wednesday. That is a thing that I have committed to psychologically that I will not let you down. If I was not gonna be home for 2 weeks, I'd be sitting right now and recording 2, 3 videos so that the next 2 and 3 weeks I would have them. But because I know I'll be home, then I let back and I don't, but I'll still do it the day or two before the video needs to go up. GEBBS juice, much easier to put together and I can get in a flow and I don't have to change all these shirts and all these different things. And so I can record a bunch of those at once. And that's what I do. But I'm still recording the next batch right before. But I embrace that, right? I've learned that that's who I am. And I think that what you need to do when it comes to procrastination, you probably will never stop it entirely and then just all of a sudden everything's just hunky-dory and you're like, I never procrastinate, I get things done in plenty of time and all these different things. I don't know if that'll ever stop for you depending on how bad you are of a procrastinator. What I've learned is if you can recognize things, if right now, if you listen to me, you start to recognize these different things, you can start to think about it, you start to be conscious of it, then you can embrace it and quit fighting it. There's so many things in life that we want to fight all the time, and fighting it can be very, very detrimental, worse than the procrastination. So for me, I've stopped looking at it for the most part as a negative thing, and I've learned to embrace it, right? But the biggest takeaway that you all should take out of this, is that you need to set concrete deadlines. Concrete. And that can come in the form of accountability. I mean, watch some of my other buddies. Alex Icahn has an awesome channel. Derek Halpern has an awesome channel. I plan to rank for how to stop procrastination. They're all right there. I'm going to get there, and we're all going to be up there with our own versions. And that's the thing. You've got to find what works for you. But there's a lot of different ways. But definitely, accountability partner. For me, I just gotten a coach again that has been awesome. She's just crushed a lot of things out of me because she's pointing them out. She's pointing them out to me, right? So accountability, whatever it is, but get a concrete deadline. So if you want to quit that job, don't say, well, I'd like to quit the job in 10 years. I'd like to quit the job in 5 years. Maybe I'll start my own photography business in the next 4 years. Don't do that. Like, set something that pushes you a little bit more, right? Like Derek, I just have to say one of his right off the top of my head because it just came to it because I just rewatched it. Like, he said that one of the things, he was putting together slides for a webinar. And he'd been procrastinating forever. And he thought, screw it. I'm sending an email telling everybody I'm having a webinar at X date. Guess what? Deadline now. Gotta get it done, right? It sounds crazy, but that's the thing. Our mind goes to the deadline. I can't explain all that psychology. I see it everywhere, and I see it in my own life. And so to me, like, just think about that. When you're setting deadlines for things, sometimes set some things that might push you a little bit more. But then you'll just get it done, right? Like, don't let somebody tell you that they don't need it for 6 months, and then you're gonna go, oh, they don't need it for 6 months, and you'll take 6 months. Like, tell yourself you're not gonna be around in 6 months. Tell yourself that you'll be on vacation, or whatever you have to do, but set some concrete deadlines, or tell them up front, listen, if you tell me that you really don't need it for 6 months, like, I'm not gonna get it done. And that's the other thing, I've embraced it, I've been honest. Like, I understand it now, and I recognize it. And no, I'm hammering it home hardcore. This one's gonna be a longer one, but it's something I'm really passionate about because I really don't want people out there to constantly take things like procrastination, fear, failure, mistakes, negative, like all these negative things, and let them just eat them up every single day. I don't want them to eat you up. I want them to be something that certain things, yeah, you gotta overcome it, right? You gotta overcome it, but other things you can embrace who you are and what it is and realize it's going to happen to some degree, but turn it into a positive. And I know it sounds crazy, but do it. Do it. So turn it into a positive, set concrete deadlines, find an accountability partner, and realize that the longer you put something, the more time you give it, you will fill that time, regardless if it takes that long to complete it. Because the reality is, you won't take any more time than if you were given 4 hours to do it, than if you were given 4 months. You'll still probably take 4 or 5 or 6 hours to do it. And some of my best work comes out of these last minute, my adrenaline's pumping, and I pound it out, and that's when I put out my best work. So why fight that? So guys, rock and roll. To really appreciate each and every single one of you. I say that every week. I truthfully mean it. I do this for you guys, and I do it for me too because it helps me hearing these things, but also the comments, they really mean the world to me. And some of you regulars out there that freaking leave, a comment every single week, you guys are amazing, and it means the world to me. We're gonna grow this puppy real big. Help me. One of my goals this year is to get to 100,000 subscribers in the next 12 months. 12 months, right? So I'm setting a longer goal, but I believe we can do it collectively, sharing. There's gonna be some awesome things happening, awesome connections this year. It's gonna be a freaking crazy year. Super excited about it though, and that's what I wanna do. I really think that, from the messages I've been getting, it's been really ingrained in me that these are making a difference, and I love every minute of it, and I'm super pumped. So if you're loving these, share it with a friend. Please, if you haven't, go out there, just copy and paste, hit the share button, whatever, and share it on your wall, share it on Twitter, share it in an email, share it with a friend that you think this could help. And then also be sure to subscribe, because every Wednesday bring you one of these new videos with some awesome nuggets that you can take away and apply to your life right now. So truly know that anything is possible, and just believe that, and awesome things will happen. So rock and roll, my friends. Have an outstanding week, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.